Bitcoin just reached $120,000, and I'm so glad that I managed this process extremely well. If you watch my latest videos for the last week or 2 weeks, I've been keep telling you that we are going higher, we are pushing for new all-time highs, this won't be a swing failure pattern, and the chances are this will continue for multiple weeks. And that's exactly what has been happening on the chart. I've been making more money than I've ever made in my life. I had the most profitable week of my life last week, and now I'm just enjoying the profits, managing my team, and just recording videos to people who are sidelined, who are trying to get into new positions. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how to look at the Bitcoin chart. Is it bearish? When to be bearish? Is it bullish? How to take long positions, and also what altcoins you can look for and trade that are technical and also which will give you great entries on the chart as well. So let's get started. As you know, this is my position. I'm always in this position. I have no reason to close this one. It has been making me money for more than a week now at this point. I opened it up on the 9th of July. Now we are at the 14th of July, so maybe not a week so far, but yeah, it's a great position to be in. And what can we look out for? Well, I'm going to tell you now what you should be looking out for as someone who is taking this week as a manager, as someone whose goal is to make sure that people are looking at the charts in a way where they can take longs, they can find positions that are profitable. Now, if you have watched my how to trade the all-time highs video from last week, which I highly suggest that you watch, I've told you that the VWAP is the #1 level that you should always have on your chart for the first 2 or 3 weeks of the all-time high run. And today kind of showed you why that is the case. This will be a great case study 4 or 5 years down the line when we have our next cycle, and I'm going to tell people that you should be using these levels. And here we can see that the VWAP was completely ruling the price starting from 11th of July on Friday. Here we can see that we were trying to go below the VWAP, but we were unable to do so. And then we were actually closing 15-minute candles below it. And after Sunday opened up right here, you can see how well we just rode the VWAP until $123,000, right? You can see the touches here, you can see the touch right there, you can see the touches right here, and now we are touching it once again. One thing I failed to mention in the last video that I made about how to trade all-time highs is that the volume weighted average price, when you're looking at it, you should not look at it as a singular level, because what it means is it's a volume weighted average price, which means that for that level to occur on the chart, there has to be a lot of volume that is covering that zone. So don't always look at it as a singular level, look at it as a zone, which means that if the price is able to come down here during the New York session and you're seeing a move like this, where the price is pushing higher, this will still be a VWAP reaction. Even though you will maybe close a 15-minute candle below it, or you'll have a couple candles below it, it will still be a VWAP reaction because it's the volume weighted average price. It's not a singular line on the chart. So this is an amazing level to have on your chart, and I truly believe everyone should have it, not just on Bitcoin, but on every single altcoin that you're trading as well, because it will be a lifesaver and a game changer for you for the next week or so. Now, if this level is lost on Bitcoin, let's say we are able to come down below this level, what that means is that the majority of the volume for today is actually now above us. And that's not a great sign for the chart, is it? If you just think about on a volume perspective, if most of the traders who have entered the market today are trading above the price, what that means is that the price is accepting lower levels on the chart. So for me, what that signifies is that if we are losing the average volume, it usually gets us to the low of the day. So if I look at the chart and understand when we had this big move on the chart, you can see that we had this big move on this yellow session right here. This yellow session right here is the Asia session of today. And you can see that the London session, even though it put in the high of the day, it wasn't a bullish session. It actually time framed down on the chart. It started around here and then now had tried the highs, and now it actually ended at the lows of the session. So this was not a bullish session on the chart, even with the increasing open interest that we have seen. Now, how could that change for us? Well, for me, the number one way to change the structure of a session is actually reclaiming the point of control. Here we can see that the time point of control of this London session comes in at 122.445, and that is the only resistance level on the chart right now. If that is reclaimed, I truly believe we will have a great and expansion, a big New York session on the chart. If we reject from this level, if we are not able to reclaim this London time point of control, I think that opens up a bit of the gates for us to put in new lows on the chart, maybe around 120.9K, around that zone. So you can see that we have a lot of yellow lines that are coming across the chart here as well. These are the time point of controls of Asia, aftermarket, London from Sunday, and we also have, what is this one? We have the Asia session from Friday here as well. So will these levels be tapped? Well, for now, that is not the highest likely outcome, simply because we had this expansion move on Asia session, and currently we are not seeing any signs of weakness on the chart. And if this is the case, if we just continue pushing higher and then we reclaim this time point of control, I don't think there's anything to be worried about. So what you should be looking out for during this New York session is when New York opens up, in the first hour of New York, are we losing this volume weighted average price? Are we seeing bearish divergences on the chart, or are we seeing bullish divergences every time we test this volume weighted average price? So depending on how order flow is looking, you can make a great decision about if the price is more likely to push higher or lower on the chart today. So that's what I'm going to do with my team today. The VWAP gave a great reaction right here, as you can see. And if the price is able to push higher here and reclaim that time point of control, I think we have a great expansion that we could have for the rest of the day. So trading Bitcoin today is a bit harder, because if you take a long position right here, putting your stop loss at a level is kind of hard, right? Because if you want to take a trade right now, the most viable place that you should be putting your stop loss is the Asia session low, which comes in at 119.9 right here. So, or sorry, 118.9 right here. So you got to be having a 2.40% stop loss for a potential take profit one of 1.19. So is that a great setup? In my opinion, it's not. So taking longs on this chart is a bit harder. So what that does is that actually gives us the opportunity to trade altcoins on the market. So for me, the number one altcoin in any type of crypto market is Ripple. XRP has the best structure in town. I've told you this on Twitter as well, simply because the chart looks really bullish, right? Just from the eye test, you can see that we are just printing highs, higher lows on the chart, and there is no weakness on the chart. And on top of this, I've been monitoring this chart for a week and a half, and what I've been seeing so far is that it respects our levels extremely well. What are our levels? Well, VWAP is one of them, right? This is one of my favorite levels that I use, and you can see here how amazingly this reacted from the volume weighted average price after taking its highs right here. So you can see the highs were taking out, price was trying to push down, but the volume weighted average price actually stopped that downtrend. And now it's doing it here again. It did it right here once again. So it's an amazing level. One more level that you can use, as we always talk about, are the session point of controls. If you want to have these levels, you can just join the tag team. The link is in the description, and you can have all of my templates from day one. So that is a pretty good deal, I have to say. So here we can see that the session and POC levels, there are a lot less session and POC levels on XRP than on Bitcoin, which means that the session and POCs on here are actually getting tapped, which shows us that this is a chart that moves based on the technicals that are on the chart. So what levels can we look out for here? One thing I'm noticing right now is that all of the lows that we put in from the aftermarket to London session to the Asia session right here, they have great lows on the chart. We can see where there's a buying tail right here, which signifies limit buying. We have buying tail right here. We have buying tail right here. So these are great lows on the chart. And also, with the great lows, we are seeing a clear uptrend on the open interest as well. So people are actually joining the market and they're pushing the price higher on the chart as well. So what we can do on this chart is look for entries during the New York session. If you're seeing this trend continue and the VWAP not being lost on the chart, what you can do is you can look for long positions when New York opens up with a stop loss below the previous session's low. So in this case, currently our previous session right here is the London session. And as we can see that the London session has a strong low on the chart. So this comes in at 2.8925. So 2.8925. Where is that one at? 8925. So you can put your stop loss around here, and you can now aim for new all-time highs on the chart as your take profit one. And also you can basically look for an expansion move on this one as well. So now you can see how much of a better condition this is in compared to Bitcoin on the chart as well. This gives you a 2.33 risk to reward ratio trade compared to the 0.50 on Bitcoin. So that's why I like these charts a bit more. And more importantly here, if we go back on Exocharts right now and try to check out the order flow and the footprint chart for XRP, what you will be able to see here is that the XRP is still printing lower lows on CVD, which is a clear case for us that is showing us that the players on the chart are still trying to short the market as well. These people who are entering the market, they are not just longs, they are people who are still trying to short the market actively as well. So this gives us an extra layer of confidence that the prices are still more likely to push higher on the chart. As we can see right now, if you take a long position with a stop loss below this low right here, you would have the CVD confluence, you would have the open interest confluence, you would have the VWAP confluence, and also you would have the session confluence on the market as well, which is an ideal situation for everyone who is trying to trade the markets. So for me, if I'm taking a long position in the market, I would take it from the VWAP right here, and I would have my stop loss below this low, aiming for these highs as my first take profit one, and then looking for an expansion move on this one as well. So these kind of trades are currently active on many charts as well. It's not just XRP, it is active on many charts like Ethereum, like Solana, like any chart you find. Please activate the VWAP and please have the session MPOCs on the chart here as well. Every chart that you could ask for is here. You can see CRV is here, Bell is here, Ethereum is here, Near, OP. If you want any of these, all of these, just join the tag team and you'll have all of these session MPOC levels right here as well. So this is a trade that I would have taken on XRP if I was trying to trade it this week. But as I said, unfortunately, I'm already winning. So do I have the urge to join this market? Right now, not. But these are still amazing trades on the chart. So if you want more of these trade setups, if you want to have these every single day where I tell you what the best trade setups on the market is, join the tag team. We have an amazing Discord community right there. You can see here we just actually reached 30 members on tag team as well, which was a goal that I thought that we'd reach here in a month, but it actually took us 5 months to get there. And as you can see, people are happy. This is my long position right here, 108.647. I have another one from 101.8 as well on the chart. So good time to be alive. If you want these, if you want live updates, join the tag team. If you want the education here we have the educational section as well, where I actually put in numbers, numerical numbers here. Numerical number sounds funny, but I found I put numbers in front of every single part right here, so you can actually watch it in a great way. So the first thing, if you join the tag team, you should watch this one, second this, third, fourth, and then you go into the Exochart section, and then you go into the range trading section, and then you go into the risk management and psychology section as well. So everything is planned. You can join and start educating yourself about these as well. So this is it for me about XRP and Bitcoin. If you want to trade Ethereum, I think same goes for this one as well. This is an amazingly bullish looking chart. There is no sign of weakness on Ethereum. And if you're looking for longs, I'd give you the same advice. Just have your VWAP on, and I don't even have to say it. You can just see the respect to yourself as well. Touch them here, lost it here, came back, reclaimed, and now we are testing it once again for a potential new run on the chart as well. So have these levels on, have your session MPOCs on, and just look for longs. There is no reason to be bearish. There is no reason for you to be looking for shorts in the chart. One thing before I end this video is I'm going to tell you what would change my bias and what would actually turn me a bit more bearish on the chart, because I always say, right, if you are bullish on the chart, there should be something that is telling you that if this happens, I'm going to readjust my stance. And I think a lot of people lost because of this over the last couple of weeks, where you've seen a lot of the key opinion leaders on Twitter where they've been keep losing money because they tried to short the market, they thought the market was weak, and they didn't have any invalidation for their ideas. So for me, the easiest invalidation on the chart is losing the all-time highs. Right, that is pretty simple to say. If I see that we are back below $112,000, that would be a major sign of weakness on the chart. But that is pretty clear. I don't want to just leave you with that, because that sounds pretty easy. Everyone could say that for you. But what else can we have? Well, if you want to have a bit more, order flow related top, what you can look for is you can look for an all-time high where there is clear bearish divergences on the chart. Right now, we are not seeing any bearish absorption on the market. So what that usually signifies for me is that there is not many people, there are not many big players on the chart who's putting limit short orders right here. And that is really crucial for us, because if you're going to put in a high on the chart, what you want to see is you want to see the big players shorting the market. And if you're not seeing people shorting the market, is it actually smart to look for shorts? In my opinion, it's not. And that is actually backed up by how we put in our highs back in, what time was it again? Back in January as well. If you look at the order flow back in January, you can clearly see that we had so much bearish absorption on the chart. And we actually took a short position from the highs as well here. So if we are seeing some signs of weakness on the chart, I'm obviously going to be turning a bit more bearish. But for now, we are just 5 days into this all-time high run. I don't think there is anything bearish about the market as of today. So just look for longs, have the VWAP on, have the session MPOCs on the chart, and if you want more guidance, please join the tag team. It's the best place to be, and you will not regret it. So thank you so much for listening to me. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe as well, and I will see you probably either on Wednesday or Thursday. So bye-bye.